Mark Lidbetter here. Welcome to Judgement Calls. This is a fun edition because we're going to actually go across the pond and we're going to be speaking with Noah Eisenberg, Montreal born, who has an extensive soccer background that belies his 22 years. And he has just signed on and arrived in Wales, where he is going to be playing for the Llangefni Town FC, which is a Division II pro club over there. But getting to play pro soccer in Europe is going to be a great thrill. And I want to welcome you, Noah. 8:30 p.m. over there, so hope it's not getting too close to bedtime.
Not yet. A little soon it will be, but not yet.
So you pretty well just arrived in Wales. You've caught up with your team. You've had a chance to get your kit to wear. Has it sunk in that you're ready to play pro soccer in Europe again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very psyched. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. I'm very happy to be back. Obviously, with everything going on in the world with this pandemic, we don't know exactly when the season's going to start. We're in full training mode, which is amazing. So it's really nice to be back in the rhythm of things. But obviously, in the back of my head, I know that it's still a lot of ifs and buts in terms of the season. But it's just amazing to be back in Europe, where soccer is such a big culture, and to be at the pro level playing here with my team and with my teammates, and just being really the only Canadian there is pretty cool.
And you play center midfielder, tough position. You had minor soccer experience with the MRO Griffins, the Mount Royal Outremer, in the Lac St. Louis AA League, I would imagine. You also played over in Boisbriand. Where was it? The South Shore, wasn't it?
Yeah, Boisbriand.
Oh, no, Boisbriand. Right. Yeah. And the League Elite Soccer de Quebec in AAA. You've represented Canada in the Maccabiah Games. You've got a pretty good travel history. You've played in the States. You've been to Belgium. You've been to Northern Ireland. What is the drive for you for the sport, this beautiful game of soccer that keeps you doing this?
You know, I think that it's funny because none of my family nobody's really athletic in the family. So everyone always asks me the question of who was a soccer player in your family, and the truth was nobody was. I tell people that I was born with the ball at my feet. I mean, when all my friends were playing hockey and basketball and football, they just never interested me. I always loved the idea of soccer. I love the idea of being outdoors. I love the idea of kicking, running. Just that's all I could remember. And I know that the first time I ever kicked the ball, I was 3 years old. And so ever since I was young, for every person who knows me, the only thing I've ever said was, I'm going to be a professional soccer player. I've never said anything else. I've never had hesitation on anything else. That is always what I've wanted to do. And now I'm 22 years old, and it's still the same thing of what I want to do. And I just love the game so much, and I've fallen so much in love that I just am going to keep going and play as long as I can and make as high of a name for myself and as much money as I can doing what I love.
Now, also, I mean, it's tough enough playing somewhere else in the country or stateside, which isn't too bad, but you're all the way over in Europe. Is that a tough thing for you? Because I imagine family is close and family is very important. You were mentioning them. So is that a tough thing at the moment that you got to put on the back burner?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I remember being in Belgium, living on a farm, and it's the same kind of a situation in Wales where you go on Instagram or you go on Snapchat and you see all your friends partying, or, I mean, now not really with the pandemic, but going out, gatherings, your family, birthdays, and here you are in the middle of nowhere, Europe, and you're trying to make a name for yourself. And of course, sometimes it gets lonely. Nobody speaks the language in Belgium. Nobody spoke English. Nobody spoke French. I was in the Flemish part. And even in Wales, I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Wales. And so definitely it crosses your mind sometimes where you see all these things. You go, oh, I wish I was there. But I always just tell myself that same thing, that I have a goal. And to get to that goal, it's got to be going to Europe and making a name for myself. Because you make a name for yourself in Europe, which is the land of soccer like hockey is in Canada, you could then pretty much go anywhere after that.
And how has the welcome been over in Wales?
Honestly, of everywhere I've been so far, it's probably been the best. So my manager has been super, super supportive. He's always lets me know that if I ever need anything, he's there for me. They were really welcoming. They just did my signing. We just took a picture at the stadium together with my jersey. The players have been very nice to me. And it's been very, very so far a positive experience. So I'm really happy about that.
And I guess you're ready to get tagged being the Canadian.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually like that a lot too, because when you're in Europe, like you said, I believe I'm the first Canadian, from what the owner told me, to ever sign in the second division in Wales. So that's pretty cool. And what's also cool is that as long as I do well, they'll know me as, like you said, the Canadian. So it's a good thing in terms of just being known. It'll be an easier way to be identified.
And speaking of doing well, what do you feel you bring to the mix for your team that you can offer them skill-wise and team play-wise?
So Llangefni Town is a pretty new second division club. They won the third division 2 years ago and promoted last year. Last year, they were on more of the bottom end in the second division, but they survived. They did okay. I think what I can bring, which is what they lacked last year, was I could score goals, but I could also set up. I think they had a lot of problem offensively last year. They're stronger defensively. And I think that I could bring something to the table in terms of, in Canada, we work a lot on just being the fittest guy and being very, very technical, where in Europe, it's much more tactical. They're really focusing more on formations and things like that. And I think that with the tactics I learned from them, I could bring an element of technique and physicality, which I bring from my end of the world. And I think that can help them score goals, which is most important. That's what's going to win the game.
Now, like you say, right now it's training. When would league play start? Do they have a clue, or?
The owner told me today when we spoke that they're saying November. Mm-hmm. Who knows with this pandemic? Things change every day. For me, the most amazing thing is just being here and training, because even though there's no season at the moment, they announced 3 friendlies. So we have 3 friendlies coming up in October. We're playing 2 against Bangor City, who's a full-time professional club, top of the line. They're going to win second division probably and go up to first, from what the sounds of it. They're owned by Inter Milan, who's one of the best teams in the world. And they brought in a coach from Inter Milan, and it's very interesting. They're actually down the road from our club. And all their players are at a nice hotel living together. And basically what they're doing is they're putting in a ton of money so that players from the academy of Inter Milan, as opposed to playing under 16 and under 17 Inter Milan, could come play pro experience in another country and play in the main team so that they're ready to move up quicker. So basically their team is filled with Italians in Wales. So they're going to be a tough test, and they'll be able to tell us. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're playing them soon, and we're playing another club where I live, called Llandudno. They're a very good second division too. They used to be in the first division. They just got a new manager from the first division, so they're going to fight to go back up too. And so we have friendlies against those teams because they're local and they're not far. But
is there a team? Have they told you any, or your manager told you? Is there a particular team that's like a rival, like the Montreal-Toronto rivalry?
Bangor. There's 2. Bangor City is one, and Holyhead Hotspur. So Holyhead Hotspur is a team that's right next to Llangefni. It's called Holyhead Town. It's actually funny you said that, because the owner was telling us how he's very discouraged, because if this was normal circumstances, that would be a derby game, us against Holyhead, and they would easily get 1,500 to 2,000 people at the game.
So I guess games like that will really get the juices flowing for you to get out there and perform.
Oh, for sure. But what's unfortunate is that the clubs are upset, because if this was normal times, there would be so many people. So spectators, money, it's an economy thing. Yeah. But now they're saying that most likely we're going to have to play behind closed doors. So it changes things a lot.
And you were mentioning the other club. A lot of the players come out of the academy. Now you sort of fly under the radar as a skilled soccer player. You didn't really come out of an academy program. You've played on a variety of teams. And I guess you've had the benefit of some good coaching at those different areas. and hard work on your own to get to where you are right now.
Absolutely. And I've had the 2 or 3 coaches who I feel definitely believed in me and were hands to help me get to where I needed to go. But at the end of the day, a lot of it has to come from you. And I'm a strong believer. I mean, I have many, many friends who will say to me, oh, I'm not playing for the Montreal Impact's under 16, so why should I keep playing? I'm not going to make it. Or how do I get to that next step? And the truth is, at the end of the day, if you're a good player, you're a good player. And that's what I tell any kid I coach, any kid I play with. I mean, there's so many routes to get to the top. And it's such a competitive market that they don't care what you play, what level you do. If you're good, you're good. And it's about finding out where you fit somewhere and working up from there.
And athletes are always the toughest on themselves. What would you like to improve in your skill set to take you up to a next level?
You know, I'm tough on myself too. I always think I could do better. I always tell myself that too. I think I can't take things personally. I mean, I'm actually one of the best at taking criticism. I'm pretty good at it. When a coach tells me off, but to the point where I'm obsessive. Like if they say something, I'll go do it right away. Like if they tell me, you know, Noah, like we want you to be a little bigger, put on a pound, or we want you to lose a pound, get a little thinner, get a little quicker. I mean, I'll go right away to the gym or to my room or whatever it is and do that. If they tell me my first touch needs to be better, I'll run right away to start working on my first touch. And maybe I don't have to be that extreme. It's a very obsessive compulsive component to my game. But I'm just such a perfectionist that I think that that's also part what makes me so successful.
Well, I wish you the best of luck for the upcoming season. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. And this is Mark Lidbetter for Judgement Calls. And my judgment call on this one is soccer is such a beautiful game, but hard work will reap its rewards, just like Noah is enjoying, even though it's across the pond. I don't think he's going to Welsh on this bet. So until next time, if you have any questions, any comments, you know where to find me. That's sports@thesuburban.com. And until then, everybody get out to the pitch and get first touch on the ball.